Hello everybody, yes indeed, yes indeed, yes indeed. Hello everybody, yes indeed, yes indeed, my darlings. Bump dilly bump, bump bump. Nice to see you again. Today is Saturday. We're still celebrating the winter holidays. The big one's coming up on Christmas Day, 1 week from today. So today is Saturday. See, there's the S for Saturday. December 18. I'm going to put an X on it because it's almost over. And we have 2 more days until winter begins. Yeah. You might have to watch for snow. Are you getting ready for snow? Get your mittens ready. Get your boots ready. You're going to need those things when the snow comes, right? Well, the first day of winter will be on Tuesday. We can celebrate that. That's kind of fun to change the seasons, isn't it? Sure. And then, of course, let's count all the days until Christmas. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more days. And on the 7th day will be Christmas. So it's 1 week from today, in the month of December. All right. Are you celebrating at your house? Are you beginning to decorate? And are you beginning to get ready, making preparations? Some people are baking holiday cookies or special foods. Maybe you're decorating your house or your yard or your porch or your windows. It's fun to decorate, get ready for a holiday. Yeah. And it's fun to read holiday stories, and that's what I like to do with you. So, should we look in our holiday house? I don't hear anything, but that doesn't mean there isn't someone in there. Let's find out, shall we? Okay, take off the roof, put it down here, and I'm going to reach in there. I feel something. Oh, for heaven's sakes, it's a dragon. It's a dragon with a Santa hat on, carrying a package. How nice, a dragon. Well, what's a dragon doing in my holiday house? That's a little unusual, don't you think? Let's see. Well, I'll tell you what. If you sit right over here, dragon, you know I'm going to have a story about you today, don't you? So let me take out my book. Yep, that's right. It's a dragon story. It's called Dragon's Merry Christmas. Do you think dragons celebrate Christmas? Well, it's only pretend, isn't it? Yeah. And it's fun to pretend it in the holidays and read some fun stories. So Dragon's Merry Christmas is written by Dave Pilkey. Cute little dragon, don't you think? Look, he's in the winter snow, having a good time. I like pretend stories with pretend characters, don't you? The first story, this storybook actually has 4 different stories in it. So the first story is called The Perfect Christmas Tree. Here it is, The Perfect Christmas Tree. And it sure does look like winter in this picture, doesn't it? Because the snow is falling. Yeah, I can't wait for that first snowfall. How about you? One cold morning, Dragon went out to find the perfect Christmas tree. He walked through the crunchy snow. He saw all sorts of trees, big ones, small ones, crooked ones, and straight ones. You see, he's carrying his axe. He's going to chop down a Christmas tree and bring it home, decorate it for the holidays. Some people do that, don't they? Mm-hmm. Finally, he found the most beautiful Christmas tree of all. It was not too big, it was not too small, it was not too crooked or too straight, it was just right. Dragon looked down and saw the tree's beautiful brown trunk. That's the stem of the tree, isn't it? It stood firm and strong in the frozen ground. What do you think he's going to do next? Can you guess? Let's find out. He looked up and saw its beautiful green branches They waved back and forth in the cold December wind. Dragon could not cut down such a lovely tree. He just couldn't do it. It looked so beautiful growing right where it was. I think trees are beautiful, aren't they? Yeah. He changed his mind. Instead, he came back with some colored lights and some silver bells and everything he needed to make his tree even more beautiful. Well, that was a great idea he had. He decorated the tree right where it was, outside. I like that idea, Dragon. Yeah. That night, Dragon looked out at his Christmas tree, shining in the night, and it looked perfectly perfect. He could see it right from his bedroom window. It's nice. I like that story, Dragon. That was a good idea you had. The next story about Dragon is called The Candy Wreath. Did you ever make a wreath? We're going to make a wreath together when this story is finished, okay? Yeah, maybe you have a real wreath hanging on your front door like I do. But this is about a candy wreath, like a wreath that's made out of candy. I don't think I've ever seen a real candy wreath before. One day in December, Dragon had a good idea. I will make a wreath out of candy, he said. So Dragon took some old wire and bent it into shape. Then he taped little pieces of chocolate candy all around it. When Dragon hung his candy wreath on the wall, one of the pieces of chocolate fell off. Dragon picked it up and ate it, and it was very good. I like chocolate. Do you like chocolate? Dragon did not want his wreath to look bare, so he promised not to eat any more candy. I will only eat the pieces that fall off, he said. Then Dragon bumped his elbow against the wall, and guess what? 2 more pieces of candy fell off. Whoops, he said, and he gobbled them up. I don't think Dragon's having much luck with this wreath. I think he's going to be eating this wreath. Dragon sat down in his chair and looked up at his candy wreath. He tried not to think about the smooth, rich, sweet, creamy, dark chocolate candy. Dragon could not sit still. He began to drool. He can't stop thinking about that tasty chocolate. I don't know about a candy wreath, Dragon. Suddenly, Dragon could not stop himself. He shook the candy wreath back and forth and then jumped up and down on it until every last piece of candy had fallen off. What do you think he's going to do next? Can you guess? I think you're right. I think he wants to eat that candy. I don't think he wants that candy wreath. Dragon got a tummy ache from eating so much chocolate. Next year, said Dragon, I think I'll make my wreath out of pine cones. Well, I think that's a much better idea, Dragon. Yes. You won't be eating the pine cones, I don't think. This story is called Mittens, and it's about a snow dragon, maybe? Dragon was always losing his mittens. No matter how hard he tried, he could never keep track of them. Whenever he needed them most, they were nowhere to be found. Did you ever lose something? Maybe your socks, your mittens, a shoe, a sneaker, maybe even your hat. He's having a hard time keeping track of those mittens, isn't he? So Dragon went out and bought a pair of clip-on mittens. Those are mittens that you clip right on your sleeves so that you don't lose them. He clipped them to his coat sleeves so that he would never lose his mittens again. Well, he solved his problem, didn't he? did he? Let's find out. Remember, his mittens are now stuck onto the sleeves of his coat. But guess what happened next? He lost his coat. If you lose your coat and your mittens are attached, I guess you're going to be very cold. Yeah, I don't think that was such a great idea. Merry Christmas, Dragon. Now this is my favorite story about Dragon, okay? My very favorite story, because it reminds us of the things that are important at Christmas time and really all year round, okay? This is called Merry Christmas, Dragon. Dragon loved Christmas. Every year he saved his money, and every Christmas he bought wonderful presents for himself. Dragon made a list of the things that he would buy for himself. Lots of food, a new coat, and a big birdhouse. 3 things he was going to buy for himself. Is that what Christmas is about? I thought Christmas was about giving gifts. Then Dragon wrapped himself up in a warm quilt and he headed off to the store. Well, don't forget he's lost his coat, so I guess he had to dress up in a warm quilt. And off to the store he went. When Dragon finished his Christmas shopping, the store clerk loaded everything into a big sack. Do you remember the 3 things that he bought? Lots of food, a new coat, and a big birdhouse. On his way home, Dragon passed some raccoons that were singing in the street. The raccoons looked hungry, for they had no food to eat. They looked very, very hungry. Maybe they were poor, do you think? Dragon reached into his sack and took out his big basket of food. "Merry Christmas," said Dragon. Well, wasn't that a kind thing to do? Then he passed an old rhino shoveling her sidewalk. The rhino looked cold. She did not have a coat to wear. She looked very, very cold. What do you think Dragon's going to do next? Can you guess? Dragon reached into his sack and took out his new wool overcoat. "Merry Christmas," said Dragon, and he gave the coat to the rhino. Wasn't that a kind thing to do? Finally, Dragon saw 2 little birds sitting on a branch. The birds did not have a home to live in, and they looked very sad. What do you think he's going to do next? I'll bet you're going to guess. Yes, Dragon opened his big sack, took out his birdhouse, and hung it on the branch. "Merry Christmas, birds," said Dragon. When Dragon got home, his big sack was empty. There were no presents left for him, but Dragon did not feel sad. Can you guess why he didn't feel sad? He went upstairs to his quiet room and crawled beneath his soft, warm quilt. And later, as he slept, Dragon dreamed that he heard angels singing in the starry night. What do you think angels in the starry night singing? What do you think that sounds like? Maybe? Oh, look. It wasn't angels singing in the starry night. Can you see who it was? Yeah, it was the rhino and the raccoons and the birds, and they came to sing for Dragon outside his window. That was very sweet, wasn't it? Dragon did some very kind things at Christmas. He gave to some animal friends that needed those things badly. And he wasn't sad at all. It made him very happy. It's a happy feeling when you give to someone, isn't it? Especially if it's someone who needs something. Well, you know what? In our story, Dragon made a wreath. We're going to make a wreath today. Not out of candy. Because I think I would have a hard time, just like Dragon did, trying not to eat all those candies. So I have a paper dish here, and I'm going to trace a circle in the middle of it, like this. Oops. I think I should have traced it on the back side, because, yeah, I think I'll trace it on the back side. So I'm going to trace a circle on my paper plate with my marker. Come on, marker, wake up. There we go. And then I'm going to take my scissors. Now this might be a part of the job that your grown-up might have to help you with, because I want to make a cutout in the middle to make my wreath. So I'm going to fold my paper plate in half. And that's going to be a little bit difficult to cut because it's very thick. So your grown-up might have to help you with this part. And I'm going to cut out the circle that I traced in the middle of my paper plate. Come on, scissors. Like I said, this part is a little bit tricky, so you might need your grown-up to help you with this part. Okay? There we go. There we go. Got a circle cut out in the middle of my paper plate. The next thing I'm going to do is take my glue. I'm going to use Elmer's glue, not the glue stick, but this glue is much better for this. And I'm going to put glue all around my paper plate. Very carefully not to get it on me. All right. Putting glue all around the inside of my paper plate. Okay. Then I'm going to take some tissue paper, like we get inside presents, you know. I'm just recycling it. Instead of throwing it out, I'm reusing it. I'm going to scrunch it up. I cut it into pieces first. And I'm cutting it, I'm scrunching it up, and I'm going to stick it in the glue. Scrunch, 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 and stick it in the glue. Make sure you stick it down there hard. You don't want it to fall out. And scrunch, 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 and stick it in the glue. Get in there, don't fall. And scrunch, 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 and I'm sticking it in the glue all the way around my paper plate. And I'm making sure that it sticks in there, so I'm really squeezing it in hard. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. Can you see what it's starting to look like? Is it starting to look a little bit like a wreath? And you don't have to use just green. You can use any color you like for tissue paper. You can make a white wreath, or a pink wreath, or a red wreath. Any color you like. I have even have some polka dot paper here. And I'm going to stick that on my wreath as well. I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to put this one. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. I think I'll move this piece over here and stick this one here. So my wreath is almost filled. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. And I'm sticking all my scrunched up tissue paper onto my wreath, and then I'm squeezing it down so that it stays on there. I don't want it to fall off. Of course, you'll have to let the glue dry before you hang your wreath up, but when you are all done scrunching and gluing, you can take some ribbon and stick it on your wreath to decorate it. I think I'm going to staple this one on, but you could glue it on or tie it on. Again, if you have a hole puncher, you can punch a hole in it. You see, I've made my wreath. Whoops! That piece has to get back on there. Come back here, you. Oh, I guess I didn't put enough glue in that spot. But I can add more glue if I need to, and I can squeeze it and squish it and pinch it tight. And there's my pretty, pretty wreath. You like it? Yeah? I think I'll take another piece of ribbon. And I think I'll tie it at the top like this. And now I can hang my wreath up. I'll have to wait till the glue dries first, right? So I will lay it on a tabletop and let the glue dry first. And that's how you make a pretty wreath. And you know what? They make really nice gifts. If your grandma comes over or you have a neighbor that you'd like to surprise, you can bring a nice wreath, and on the back you can write your name or a little message. And that's something pretty that you can hang up in your house or in your window, and it makes a lovely, lovely gift. Well, that was fun. And thank you for visiting us today, Dragon. We enjoyed your stories. Did you enjoy the stories? I hope you did. I know I did. I always enjoy reading stories to you, so I hope you'll come back another time so we can celebrate together. All right? Happy holidays, while the merry bells, are ringing. May your every wish come true. Happy holidays, with the happy songs and stories that I'm reading to you. Happy holidays, and I hope to see you again real soon.